Hello, disruptors. Welcome to the 100th episode of Mindset Mastery Moments. My goodness. If you are tuning in for the first time, I'm Dr. Alisa Whyte, your number one mindset disruptor, global workforce life and business strategist, the producer and host of this amazing podcast, the founder of Mindset Mastery 360 Global Movement, and the CEO of Fulfillment Empowerment Network, speaker, coach, trainer, international bestselling author. But nothing has been more rewarding the last few years than to be able to sit here at 100 episode, only because everything I get to do, I share with you on this journey in the podcast. When I started this podcast, I could not have imagined we'd be downloaded in more than 80 countries, reaching people I've never even met. And here we are, 100 episodes later. That's because of you listening, sharing, and doing the work. So thank you from the depths of my soul. This milestone episode, I wanted to give you something really special, the exact framework that shifted my own life, career, and business, and has gone on to impact thousands. And I call that my SHYFT Framework. This isn't just another motivational acronym. This is a roadmap I built in some of my darkest, most confusing seasons of my life. And today I want to share that with you as my gift for being here with me all the way with 100 episodes. Whether it was a solo episode or fantastic guest thought leaders from around the globe, or even some of my amazing colleagues and friends. So today, let's talk about my SHYFT Framework. I want to introduce that to you, our listeners, because we're going to keep building on this framework. Don't go anywhere, because at the end of this, I have something very, very special for you. So let's start with S, stop the spiral. There was a time when my mind was my biggest enemy. After losing a role I thought defined me, I sat in my car one night and spiraled, questioning my words, my direction, everything. You see, at that time, I was also going through separation that was headed to divorce, so it felt like everything was caving in on me. But instead of numbing it out, I grabbed a notebook and wrote, what do I really want? That simple act interrupted the spiral. You know, statistics according to the National Science Foundation says we think 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts per day, and 80% of those thoughts are negative. But here's the truth. You choose which thoughts stay. So stopping the spiral is about taking back ownership of your mind. So I want you to hone in on that. Taking back ownership of your mind. So while those thoughts keep coming and bombarding you, you get to decide which one stays and what you do with it. That's why I have the Think, Speak, Do, Become. Now let's talk about the H in my SHYFT Framework, which stands for Heal the Hesitation. I once had an opportunity to pitch my vision to a potential partner, and I froze. Not because I was prepared. I was prepared. It wasn't that I wasn't prepared, but because rejection from my past whispered, you're not good enough, and they're not going to take you seriously. That hesitation cost me an open door, and I promised myself I wouldn't let unhealed fear keep me small again. The Harvard Business Review found that entrepreneurs with higher emotional resilience, and I didn't say intelligence, resilience, are 30% more likely to succeed. That's because healed people make bolder moves. So healing the hesitation isn't optional. It's leadership. It's actually absolutely necessary. So let's now talk on why in my yield to possibility. Why for SHYFT in my SHYFT framework stands for yielding to possibility. When I first started Mindset Mastery 360, I didn't have money, connections, or all the answers, but I had a vision, and I had to yield to the possibility that something bigger could exist beyond what my current reality was. Statistics by LinkedIn show that 45% of professionals who pivoted careers reported greater fulfillment and success. So yielding to possibility is giving yourself permission to pivot, to dream again, even when it scares you. Now, let's talk about the F in my SHYFT framework, which stands for focus forward. I'll be honest, one of my biggest distractions wasn't failure. It was actually success. When doors started opening, I got caught up in performing for people instead of building my vision. I was looking for people to validate what I was working on. I had to learn that clarity is currency. So here's a stat that I go off of. When I learned that the American Psychological Association said that multitasking cuts productivity by up to 40%, when you're scattered, you're already paying the price. So focus forward means your destiny gets undivided attention. And I'm going to tell you right now that people are not always happy with that. You're going to burn some bridges along the way, but I'm telling you, those who matter don't mind, and those who mind, they probably don't matter as much. So focusing forward is important. Having clarity is key, but being focused and undivided in your attention and what you do is very necessary for optimum success. Let's talk about the T in my SHYFT framework. The T stands for taking territory. That is the last of the 5 steps. I remember stepping on a major stage for the first time. My knees were shaking and my voice was breaking. That little voice behind me said, "You're not ready." And I said out loud, "Maybe not, but I'm here. So I'm going to do it afraid. I'm going to do it anyway." There's a statistic that shows by the Kaufman Foundation that 70% of entrepreneurs say a key turning point was making a decision under uncertainty. Taking territory means leaders move even when it's uncomfortable. The world doesn't change because people are waiting for permission. It's changed when someone decides to lead and take bold actions. So if you have been stuck, spiraling, hesitating, and simply just playing on someone else's time, it's time for you to shift. SHYFT. Here is something very powerful. You might be hearing this for the first time, but applying it, that's where transformation is going to happen. That's why I created a 7-day entrepreneurial mindset challenge. Yep. It says entrepreneurial, but it's for anyone who wants to change. The reason why, I don't want you to just shift. I want you to shift into your next level now. And one of the things that I believe is responsible for the most growth is holding and honing an entrepreneurial mindset. You see, while you would hear the word entrepreneur, you're going to think, well, that's someone who has a business or started a business. But the business is you. Studies are showing that this 2025, automation is going to take about 45% of the workforce. I didn't make this up. This is actually happening right now. You know, all the chat GTPs and the automation and the self-checkouts and the automated delivery services and stuff that we have. Well, people are losing jobs by the thousands and the millions every day across the globe. So what are you going to do if your job gets cut, if your entire industry gets sliced by automation? Here's where the entrepreneurial mindset is going to be necessary, because while you're still working, I also know that no job has ever provided for me to do what I absolutely love to do, how I absolutely love to do it. And it doesn't hold to my vision. It's someone else's vision. And while there's nothing wrong with finding fulfillment in someone else's vision, my full, thorough vision is never inside theirs. So while doing a side hustle is where you get to meet me today. No one's going to let me run their podcast for them and be the star of their show and decide who I want to be a guest. They're going to decide who the guest is. But inside Mindset Mastery Moments, I get to do it because my side hustle is mine. It's my vision. So I get to do what I love. And that's why this 7 days of entrepreneurial mindset challenge based on my SHYFT framework is so pivotal for each and every one of you. Every day in those 7 days, you'll receive a short video from me. You'll also have a workbook with guided reflection steps and action steps, practical tools to apply to shift into your life, your leadership, and your career. And let me be clear, this challenge isn't just for business owners. Like I said, it's for women burned out in their 9-to-5, men who know they're capable of more, but doesn't know where to start, and for the dreamer with a vision buried under years of doubt. The best part, disruptors, it is completely free. So if you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. Don't let the spiral, the hesitation, the fear steal another year of your life. Click the link in the show notes, join the challenge, and let's shift together into your next level. 100 episodes in, and we're just getting started. Thank you for being on this journey with me. Here's to the next 100 of bigger impact, bolder leadership, and unstoppable growth, not just for me and the people listening to this, for the people in your life and for the entire planet. Remember, keep mastering your mindset. Think, speak, do, become. I'm Dr. Alisa, your #1 mindset disruptor. Let's shift together now. I'll see you on the inside.